Okay, so this is day 2 of the Bad Idea Canoe project. And this was the design of the plans for the forms, which is kind of where I realized again that I have no clue what I'm doing. So I did the first one in pen. That was a bad idea. I wouldn't recommend that. Then I switched to pencil. What I ended up doing is lowering the gunnel on this side by 1.25 inches. Just to give the boat a little bit more of a sleek, streamlined design when you look at it from the side, so it won't be flat all the way across. I literally just kind of free-handed the forms. I talked about before how I wanted the shallow V, so I just tried to do that. And this would be the outline of the first widest form, second middle form, which they'll be 2 feet away from each other, and then the third one, which will be 2 feet from the end. Now, one of the things that's scaring me a little bit is the fact that, so I literally just took a string to measure these and then divided them evenly by the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stringers. And same thing with all of them. And I divided the central line, so the center height, which actually increased to 13 because it worked out better. And I divided that into 6 equal parts, and so in my head it makes sense that if those ratios are consistent, that those should be relatively in line between. So in other words, 1/6 of this line should be the equivalent of 1/6 of this line if you're going to have a nice balanced boat. I don't know if that's true, but we'll find out when I make it, I guess. Makes sense to me. So then I drew in the stringers. I also remember to round over these stringers rather than just leave them square. I'll probably forget to do that, and that'll be too bad. But it seems like that will help kind of A, aesthetically, and B, not put as much sharp edges against that cloth once you do stretch it out. And hopefully be less likely to rub or damage or irritate the cloth. Same with this kind of the keel, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't really like how much it sticks out, so I'm going to have to round that over too, and that'll be a terrible job. I know that coming up. But anyway, now the only issue that I'm concerned about is that this ratio actually doesn't work out as well. These were 1:6 and 1:7, which makes sense, and then this was a 1:9, which gives me the idea that this is a little bit too much of a curve, so that this is too wide. So I'm either going to have to lengthen the boat, maybe to 12 feet, which wouldn't be bad, because I'd like to be able to do these stringers without steaming them. So we'll see if we can get that to bend accurately. So I did draw out just kind of the slopes of those connections, which is probably too difficult to see, but that will be the slope of the first from the middle to the second support, and then that'll be the slope of the second to the third, and that's the slope of the third to the end. So those all seem actually reasonable, but we'll see what happens with the stringers once we get that in play. So that's the plans I came up with because I don't want to pay for them, and hopefully it works out. Otherwise, we'll be starting over. But anyway, that was today. Tomorrow I'll actually go get some wood, hopefully.